I'm just a guy that doesn't really like the idea of immediate rematches. I really like how with some guys like Robert Whitaker, they go out there, they lose a title, and then they earn it back. I have a whole bunch of respect for that. I don't hate them, but I just feel like even though Izzy was such a long reigning champion, he's been in every title fight since he got the belt. I feel like if he's not the champion, we got to see some new guys out there or something like that, and he could go get a little bit of a win streak before getting a rematch, in my opinion, especially considering he already lost in kickboxing to him. But it is a different sport, so that's not the main reason why for me.
Yeah, I want to add on to this, and I do have a question for you about immediate rematches because I don't completely agree with it. However, I agree in most cases. I think immediate rematches. I think like I think people have too many of them. I think the UFC especially books too many immediate rematches. No one does it like boxing. Boxing is the king of immediate rematches
They'll have
when they're
like
not
three
necessary.
rematches. They'll
Yeah,
have
it's like
like
automatic trilogy in the contract, no matter what happens. I mean, yeah, listen, I would have to say that to be honest, man, and I think that there may not be a good argument for it, but I get the sense that because they've had two fights in kickboxing, that makes an immediate rematch almost even. I think that almost kills the case for an immediate rematch, in my opinion, because I feel that a fight between Alex Pereira, and Israel Adesanya is going to be largely determined on the feet, and I think as we saw in their fight, there was a little bit of grappling, and Israel Adesanya was able to bank around with his grappling. However, I think that the majority of the fight was dictated on the feet. Adesanya really hurt Pereira in the first round. Pereira eventually was able to find a finish on the feet. And because these guys have fought in kickboxing twice and they've had close fights, but Pereira's knocked them out twice, that almost, in a way, makes another fight with them even. I just think there's not a good argument for it because I almost know like what's going to happen. Now, don't get me wrong. Adesanya has a chance to beat Pereira. However, I just think that the more time Alex Pereira has in MMA, the more experience he can rack up. I just think he has Izzy's number, and I feel like another outcome isn't that likely. Um,
You
however,
you
I
might. Oh, I'm
yeah
sorry.
yeah
Are you
yeah
still
no.
done?
Well, the other thing I wanted to say is, um, when it comes to immediate rematches, like there are times where I think that immediate rematches are warranted. For example, if you know, and I know you disagree with this because you don't think a long reigning champion should just get an immediate rematch just because they were a long reigning champion. They've been in the majority of title fights. You've seen them so much. They've gotten so many opportunities. Why not let the new champ get some more opportunities? I like when Robert Whitaker is able to go out there and fight two guys, and Max Holloway fights a couple guys after losing to Volk a second time. But um, what about if like there's some kind of a weird fluky injury? You know what I mean? Like, and you're not a guy who believes in fluky injuries either. Like, I've also know that. So what about for example, um, Silva and Chris Weidman? Do you think that immediate rematch is warranted, or do you think like it's? Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry.
no,
That was the second fight.
he
That was
he
the second fight.
he did the stupid head movement and then got knocked out, and then the
Yeah, well,
second
yeah,
time
that's a little different. But even so, a little bit of a weird knockout. Anderson Silva doing taunting a little bit. The immediate rematch, in your opinion, is not warranted. Just
So I kind of like them for contenders. Like Yair Rodriguez versus Jeremy Stevens, that eye poke happens. It's like we
yes,
got robbed of seeing a fight, so why
yes,
not see it again? But it's just like if you think about it, like everybody in that top 15, they're going out there and they're fighting with the idea of maybe I'm going to get the next title shot. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
it's like it's unfortunate that you lost your belt due to some weird situation or something like that. But to me, it's just like bad luck's part of the sport. You know what I mean? And I feel like even if you get a little unlucky, I mean, you got to go to the next guy. I think there's a stronger argument for it in that case. I don't hate all immediate rematches. Like there's some where I think there's some debate that needs to be had, but I don't like it like just because you think it'll be a good fight or something like that
Yeah.
they do another immediate rematch. And then back to that.
Like
Yuri
Yuri
Glover.
versus Glover. Like I didn't
Oh,
like
for sure.
either. Yeah. Also,
Mm.
another thing I wanted just to add in terms of immediate rematches, like I think if it's a case like Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena, I think I like the immediate rematch in that situation. Because like, look, I mean, those are the two people the only women in that division who people actually care about. You know what I mean? So they'll do the best. And
Well,
I
no one
really,
really cared about Juliana Pena till she submitted Amanda
but I
Nunes
mean, that
anyway.
made people care about her.
Yeah,
So
of
like,
course.
there was more hype around it. You know, she submitting the woman's goat or whatever. So I think that made sense. But I think when you get stuff like Pereira Izzy, where like you've seen it twice in kickboxing. Izzy fought his best possible fight in MMA and still lost. Like, I just don't get what the reason for immediate rematch would be. Like the grappling, Alex Pereira is only getting better at MMA. Israel Adesanya is only getting worse. Like, why would the fight be any different? You know what I'm saying? And I think in terms of Usman and Leon, I don't really like that immediate rematch either, because I think you got a guy in Chimaev who's going to sell way more tickets and way more pay-per-views than a guy like Usman who doesn't really even have a fan base. You know what I'm saying? So like I think like it really has to make sense financially to do the immediate rematch.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I just wanted to say I think with the Adesanya Pereira fight, sure, Adesanya was winning on the scorecards, but I still think Pereira was in it the entire time, and he was damaging Israel Adesanya's legs. He was kicking his leg, he was kicking his calf, taking away his movement, and slowly breaking down Izzy's body. And that's ultimately like what really led to the finish. In the fifth round, Pereira checked the kick. Adesanya fell over, and eventually, like he couldn't really move around that well. He got pressured up against the fence, and he was able to open up, and Pereira landed that hook, and it all went down from there. I think with the head kick of Leon Edwards, absolutely, the way he set it up was pure skill, like just a brilliant move from Leon Edwards. That being said, because Kamaru Usman was dominating 3 rounds, and I mean like really destroying Leon Edwards for 3 rounds, using his grappling, there really wasn't anything Edwards was offering as any kind of adversity for Kamaru Usman. In that case, I don't mind the immediate rematch because I think, I don't know, what if he can't land that head kick? Like, can he win that fight? Maybe Usman is better than him. That's the thing. Sometimes I'm not convinced that the fighter who wins is the better fighter. That's just how it is for me. I'm not convinced that Leon Edwards is better than Kamaru Usman in MMA. I know he's a better striker, and it's just, what if Usman sticks on him? Can he make it the 5 rounds and beat him? He may be able to. With Pereira, for sure, Izzy had his moments, but Israel Adesanya's grappling isn't overpowering to the point of where maybe Izzy could take him down for 5 rounds. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he would gas out. I think Pereira is genuinely just has his number. He's just better. As you said, Jared, like I think that Pereira may be better than Adesanya on the night because that's just the way the matchup works, the styles work. That being said, there are guys that may be able to beat Pereira that Adesanya could destroy, just based on his takedown defense and all that. So I think that sometimes a knockout doesn't mean that the fighter's better. And when I'm not convinced, I need to see an immediate rematch. But when it comes to Chimaev, I would love to see Chimaev versus Usman or Chimaev and what's his name, Leon Edwards. More than I'd like to see that immediate rematch. I'll be real.